time for a little Spanish lesson. Do you know what the word El Bosque means? It means delicious. It's that time of year where I talk about urban sprawl. So Guatemala as a country is growing rapidly. The cities are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and in particular Guatemala cities. Now, Amatitlán, where this coffee is from, El Bosque, is around, well, used to be around about an hour's drive from Guatemala City. So very, very close, and a very traditional growing area for coffee. Now, you can argue that you're in Guatemala City when you're on the farm, because the city has spread and spread and spread. And we're going to show you a kind of an aerial picture of El Bosque right now, where you can see how much that urban sprawl has started to impact on the farm. There are houses being built all around it. The city has come right out to the edges of it. Now, that's okay, but what it does do is put a pressure on producers, coffee farmers, to sell their land to build houses on, because actually there's more money in building houses than there is in growing coffee. And every year I sit here and I say to you, I'm not sure we're going to see this coffee next year. Every year for me, for the last 4 years, has been a real bonus that we get this coffee, because it hasn't disappeared, and it hasn't disappeared into the sprawl of the city. It's a worry because these areas that the city is spreading into, you know, have lots of natural habitats for animals, have lots of land for food production and coffee production. And what we're seeing is that these farms are going to disappear. This is not a Central American only problem. This is a problem in places like Kenya, where we've seen a lot of the estates disappear because they've built gated communities on them, because they were perfectly flattened and cleared, ready for houses. It's a very cheap way to build houses. So yeah, as the population grows in the world and demand for housing continues to grow, places where we grew coffee are disappearing, and I think that's really sad. Another sad thing is Roland is going to tell us a daft fact. As I said, it's my favourite time. Let's go talk to Roland. Roland, I need a fact about Guatemala, please.
Did you know that the word bosque is Spanish for forest? So as well as being the name of this week's coffee, it's also one that appears on lots of maps of farms, because they like to have forests on their farms.
I did tell you that at the beginning, but he likes to rehash my facts. So the Instagram sensation that is the In My Mug hashtag competition with no prize continues to be amazing and phenomenal, with millions and tens and hundreds of millions of you respond. Okay, bigging it up a little bit here. It is the competition with no prize but praise. And we all like a bit of praise in our lives, so I think it's wonderful that we have an opportunity for it. This week's comes from Korea, from Yohee Gruffer. You can look on the screen and see whether I murdered that name or not. I'm fairly sure I did, but took a picture of their Finca Argentina washed, which I think is pretty amazing that we have somebody in Korea taking a picture of their bag. Thank you very much, Yohee Gruffer. We should get into the coffee, which is the El Bosque Bourbon washed from Guatemala, from Amatitlán. And I can't believe I've got all the way through In My Mug without mentioning the petrol station. It's pretty amazing that whenever I talk about In My Mug and El Bosque, the petrol station has to come up and, oh, just done it. All the way to the end and mentioned it. But the drying, washing, processing station is at the back of a petrol station on a very busy main road, which again, just ties into what we were talking about earlier with the urban expansion of Guatemala City. But let's get into the coffee. So one thing I think El Bosque has always done very well is provide a very sweet coffee. I want you to think treacle toffee. I want you to think a little bit of chocolate. I want you to think caramel. It's very chewy. And on the aftertaste, it's got a really beautiful hazelnut flavour to it that I think this is a very easy coffee to understand, and it's a very easy coffee to enjoy because it's a quaffer. It's one you can sit down on a Sunday morning in the conservatory with the newspaper, Radio 2 playing in the background because I'm of an age now where I listen to Radio 2 instead of Radio 1, and just relax and enjoy. I hope you are going to relax and enjoy it. Thank you for joining me. You are amazing for staying all the way to this point. And do remember, life is too short for bad coffee.